Professionally, his journey is equally impressive. He started at the Sri Lankan Land Reclamation and Development Corporation as a planning, research, and design engineer. He also served as a design lead structural engineering at Mainhard Infrastructure and Environment Australia. He is currently serving as technical director in engineering at LS Eco Consulting and LS Surveyors Australia. He is the founder and CEO of Eco International Engineering Consultancy Private Limited Sri Lanka. He is also a chartered engineer in both Engineers Australia and Institute of Engineers Sri Lanka. He was honored with the Engineering Excellence Award as the Best Young Chartered Engineer. We are lucky to have someone of this caliber with us tonight to share the insights on turning engineering expertise into entrepreneurial success. Without further ado, please join me in giving a warm welcome to Dr. Engineer Pradeep Laksiri. Over to you, sir.
Right. Thank you very much. Can you hear me, girls?
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much for the kind introduction, and it's my great pleasure to talking to you tonight. I think in Sri Lanka 7 o'clock, but in Australia it's almost midnight, 11, almost reaching 11:40 in the evening. Uh, so let me share my screen first. Can you see my presentation right now?
Yes, you can see presentation.
All right. So this is 1 hour or 40 minutes?
We can use 1 hour maximum.
All right. So I won't take, but I will definitely go for the 45 minutes. After that, you can ask any question, if any. All right. So the my basic aim is to give sort of what engineers can do beyond their technical expert. So as I said to you, thanks for the IET team in Sri Lanka and the Sanjivika who has contacted me very first time. So the formula I would like to thanks everyone who is giving me this opportunity. So as she is well explained, but I think very comprehensive introduction on me. So I started my journey in the University of Ruhuna as a bachelor, then Peradeniya masters, and then so I did PhD. But almost all my career was academically focused on the structural engineering, but in between, so I was trying to always keep in balance in between the entrepreneurship. So the I'm not saying like I'm a businessman, right? So it has two different meanings. So the what we can do as engineers mostly today we are talking. So the we have a huge potential to explore the market. So the number one is you need to decide where you want to be. It's like, so I know everyone can't be the entrepreneur, that's for sure, because it comes with a lot of dedication and sleepless nights, so tired and tears. So it's a really hard game. But if you get into it, if you can enjoy that one, if it is become part of your life, so that's the way it's. So you need to do your self assessment whether and where I should start this one. Uh, so the when it is come to the engineer, so the engineer, I don't know so much definition in the world, but I personally believe that we are making better world for tomorrow. So the everyone, civil, mechanical, electrical, mechatronics, bio, now you can name it, but we all supposed to work on the betterment of the life and betterment of the future. That's what we everyone's do it. So the engineers are, on the other hand, we do this solution provider for the so the I mean we have a two main goals, as I said, to the making the better tomorrow and also troubleshooting, because sometimes the plan is not going to work as we expected, right? So let's keep on that one. So the so this is the what I think probably Sanjivka has explained to you. So the anyhow, so I have worked across the world like Sri Lanka, Singapore, Italy, German, France, Middle East, little bit of Japan, and now settling in Australia. So the when you see your mindset in Sri Lanka, especially, I believe I'm sure a couple of international guys here because, but majority of Sri Lankan people, you need to look at what the global concept and the global behavior. It doesn't matter the what economy is performing. For example, remember that we are one person to world, right? One person to world, but we have our own world and own engineering dedications where we can make our own world as well. I'm not sure whether you get that point exactly. So the sometimes the global economic crisis at the moment is happening everywhere. So you and me can't stop that one, but however we can provide the solution, or else we can get an advantage of that one. The second one, you need to be very carefully listen when there's a problem, so you have more chances. That's what I see the problems throughout, right? So the if there is opportunity for this longer, let's say 10 years, 15 years, 100 years, so much people dump into that and they have found the way to resolve it. But for example, I would say like last disaster was the COVID, right? In that period, I see potential. It's not a problem for me, it's an opportunity for me. How can I grab the world, right? And what is the approach I should take? So the people start work from home, so then the digital, the ICT stuffs come up, right? In the same times, how engineers can work, because the when we were graduated like probably 15 years back, we thought like engineering is a labor intensive work, like you have to collaboratively work, right? So part of any job, so engineers has to be physically involved. But today no more, right? So the some of the engineering application, engineering work in the environment, even we don't know where it exit, in the mean that it's virtual, we don't know who is working on that one, right? Don't miss interpreted these two. So I'm not talking about the artificial intelligence or the chat GPT or whatever. I'm talking about how reality worlds far beyond the technology. So the if someone asks like, so the in the future probably, so what I see is like a, so what the paper you get as an engineer will not define yourself. It probably the performance what you work for us, right? So the so the in every 5 years in my life, probably I have done couple of big steps and the big milestone. But those are not overnight thinking. Those are not just because it comes through the dreams. It is well prepared, well analyzed, and well planned. So we do like a SWOT analysis. I personally do SWOT analysis for each and every study. Like if I do this one, what are the advantages? If I do this one, what I can miss the stuff, right? Another thing is I I always believe entire world is a business. So everyone's works either financially benefit or the career benefit, right? No one, I'm not, I rarely see the people who work 100% career benefit instead of the financial benefit. So even myself, if I start some things tomorrow, I need to see two things. The one is the self satisfaction, so the things I do, I should enjoy myself. If that sticks, is that box unable to tick, so I stop myself, even though it's financially wealthy. Because the socially you are not going to recover your mind if you do something you don't like. Assuming that how many of you work today, you go office, you don't like, you talk to your boss, you don't like, you talk to your colleagues, you don't like, you work in the environment you don't like. So it means you are downgrading yourself, and every day you are degrading your capacity because you go in a negative environment, right? So the start something small. So the anything's on the journey. So the forget about the entrepreneurships, anything on your career, you should be start with the first step. So that step should be very strong. That step should be keep yourself, not your senior, not your parents, not someone else, not your husband, wife, your boyfriend or girlfriend. You, if you use the first step to give by someone else, you don't know when you get tough environment, tough terrain, how to walk, right? Let you down, let you up, let get a harder, let it challenge yourself. I hope you understand what I'm saying. So the importance of the life is the leadership, right? So I'm not sure you graduated or undergraduated, what, it doesn't matter. First, appoint yourself as a CEO. The CEO is a leader of your life. So you're in your own disciplinary entrepreneurship. So whatever business in your portfolio, life portfolio, you need to make sure that okay, you have 24 hours. Myself has a 24-hour, even though I run three business across the globe, Australia, Sri Lanka, and other countries. So I also have a 24 hours as you, but I'm 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 trying to deliver the things on time, especially to my clients. So what I'll do is I see what's the best way of doing that one. So that's called the time management, right? Not let time to manage you. You try to manage the time, because if time to manage to you is like okay, you sleep up to 10 o'clock in the evening to early morning, you don't want to wake up, you don't do exercises, you don't properly eat, you don't properly wear, right? So it's the decorative life is much more efficient. Did you understand what I'm saying is, so the decorative life in the sense like, if you if you dress, if you can't swimming in the pool with the office drapes, right? You can't do that one, right? You definitely can't do that one in the office, right? So the, but in the same time, you may not be able to to do perform in the office with the swimming kit. So similarly, in life, we do a lot of tasks and activities that require a pre-preparation. We call the prep, right? So for that, it can be the clothes. So otherwise, it can be the mentality. It can be the food. For example, if you plans to go for the walk, if you plan to climb the mountain, so you should be having enough foods, enough water, etc., and enough strength. But to sleep 10 hours doesn't need that much. So it means each activity and each task you may able to calculate what is required and what is not required. This is the what the people today is getting mess. People doesn't know. People go all the activity as an ordinary person. So I'm not. So the maybe rather I talk myself. So I have a team in Australia and the Sri Lanka, like let's say 40 50 engineers all parallelly. So what I'll do is like I train my teams for the task oriented. So even though they are trying to do first time fail, I said no, it's not perfect. Second time it's not perfect. Third time it's not perfect. Fourth time it's not perfect. I appreciate the effort, but I'm not going to say 80% is the perfect. So when I come to the 100%, I said, okay, guys, you've done the job. It doesn't matter you try how much, but don't put like 80% is the perfect. So you have a 20 empty, something like that, right? So the anyway in my life from the right from the beginning, even the university time, so I had my dream like I don't want to get any money from the parents where I induce, like, right? So this is sort of like a personal things, but it will definitely be reflected in your life. So the what I thought is like, so the parent has been given money and everything sourced me for the A level, but after that I feel like I have my strong backbone and the capacity. So I start doing a couple of things like even tuition, so a lot of things. So it works in the university, but without affecting to the studies and all these things. So the other thing is uh, the I always thinks differently. I have a rule called the 95 to 5%. I always say to the people that is my rule. So first you need to think about in the world, so most of the people, like I would say 95 people are ordinary. Their thinking is ordinary, their way of living is ordinary, their way of enjoying the life is ordinary, their, everything, hobbies are ordinary, but 5% are exceptional. It means their way of thinking is exceptional. The way of enjoying the life is exceptional. The way of thinking is exceptional. The way of doing the thing is exceptional. So you need to right now decide yourself which group you wanna be. If it is a 95% ordinary, all right, and the 5%. But I found a lot of people want to do 95% things, but they want outcome as a 5% exceptional, but that's never going to be happen, because everything is a result of effort you give. So the outcome what you are getting today is what you did yesterday, and outcomes which is coming tomorrow is what you are doing today for tomorrow. So it's not like a periodically someone work for you and giving this blah 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 etc. So the lot of friends probably in the, if you just remember 5 friends in your life at the grade 1 in school, today in a different caliber, right? You might be the engineer, someone be the doctor, someone be the teacher, someone be the driver, someone be the labor. I respect all discipline across, but only thing is, are they happy doing their own stuff? If not, they haven't put enough effort to where they want to be. For example, I personally believe, so at the moment all my threshold I achieved. What do you mean by the threshold? Then life you should have to have a two determinations. One thing is a threshold. It means you should think age 30 I need this one, age 40 I need this one, 50 I need this one. So if you need to work hard for that one, even sleepless night doesn't matter, 20 hours per day it doesn't matter, right? I'm talking about initial part of the life, not every day. Beyond the threshold is a bonus. If you want a car, if you ride a car today, but you want to have a bicycle, so the bicycle is your threshold, but the car, you got a car, so you got a bonus part, right? So you shouldn't raise your threshold anytime in the life, because you will be ended up with the regrets. But you can definitely raise the dream, because if dream is not comes true beyond the threshold, it's not much regret, right? But if you are threshold unable to reach the basic need for your life, if you can't eat what you want, if you are not be able to go where you want, and you can't dress the way you want, so then you are failing the life, right? I'm people, a lot of people heard I many times, many motivation wherever the successful people. I never use the word called successful. There's no such people in the world. There are two types of people: happy people with the happiness, and people without happiness. That's it. How do you define the success? By the what you have. The success is a sort of terminology that you can't apply for the people. It can be applied for the business. Business can be success. So part of the business, we are there, humans. But as an individual, you are right. So you need to make the most important thing is happiness. No matter how many people with a lot of money are unhappy today, how many people are with the basic needs much more happy. You getting what I'm saying? So that's some things we definitely need to work in the life, right? In addition, we should, sorry, in addi let me get your audience, this one here, so I can see you guys. All right. So the the in addition, so the what you need in life to determine in which stage you want to achieve, right? So these are the some of the places where I am over the, so if you see here the below, right? So it's my 15 years back. So this is 2015. This is 2020. This is where. So I was started from Sri Lanka, go to Europe in Italy doing the PhD, and establish, come back Sri Lankan teacher, joined in the university as academic for the 5 years, then again back in Australia, and then now we are working in the both Sri Lankan and the Australian, right? So so these are the couple of projects we recently completed. If you see, so the Cricket Australia, we work for that right now. So these are the warehouses, geotechnical stuff, telecommunication. We work with the world best universities like UTS, University of Technology in Sydney, and a big project, etc. So I honestly don't go much deeper into this, right? So what I'll do usually is like I train my own team and I build my trust with the team. So I have Peradeniya, Ruhuna, Moratuwa, Jaffna, Jayawardhanpura, and other private university, right? So all the people, but I make sure they train up to the way I want, right? So all these my people are well trained. I personally believe like my key success is establishing the goal and training my key people, and it doesn't matter. I have my design manager sometimes graduated within last 3 years, doesn't matter. For me age is a number, so I don't mind. And the rewards and everything comes with the performance, but I particularly look at the options where like sort of how I can give the global share, how can I share the global trends and the knowledge. Because when you studies in the Sri Lanka, when someone studies in the India, I work with right now in Australia probably more than 50 country, more than representing the 50 nations right now. So I see I can't blame my education system. It's pretty much good. That's why the our education system create people like us very strong. So the thing is, when we talk to the India, when you talk about the Vietnam, China, Japan, Italy, USA, Middle East, so the India, Bangladesh, you name the country. Right now we are working. So the country itself, they have their own train program because because the any degree program in the country, so the 80% focus on the local delivery. What do you mean by the local delivery? It means the engineers are preparation for their self, the country needs. But now the game is changed because of global crisis. Sometimes the people has a different ambition. So they, for example, at the moment Sri Lanka has a higher migration rate. So they are looking for Australia, UK, Canada, Japan, New Zealand. So likewise. So if that's so, the biggest challenge to the engineers, not only engineers, any profession, is filling the gap. So if you come here, if you come to the Australia, if you go for the Canada, right? So the any times, right? Well, any times you can't. Any times you will be asked to work with the local content, the local standard. You need to follow up the local standards. You need to follow up the local method of construction, the local standards like engineering specification, whatever, electrical, mechanical, or whatever. In that scenario, the most of the Asian countries little far behind because we have created a mentality we know everything, right? So the it's good. The in On the other hand, the self confidence is really good, but it should be come when you are smart enough to tackle the problem, right? So though you are smart, though you are knowledgeable, though have a higher degree in high distinctness, right, which are the higher average points, it doesn't mean the next day you can perform in the any territory. That probably the biggest things in your lives to be understanding. So the when I talk to the young guys, sometimes they have overconfidence, right? Sometimes it's good because overconfident mean they believe they are self. But when you have a overconfident all the time, it relates to overpromise. When you do overpromise, what will happen is overpromise and under delivery. So nobody's like you. If you say, okay, I can finish this work by one day, but if you take it for the 3 4 days, what will happen? Nobody's going to be happy. Even I, as a, let's say, as a owner of the company or the business, if you are underperforming, so it's matter to me, because the reason, when I recruited you, I had a plan. Okay, you perform 30 odd number of jobs per month, but you are delivering 10 odd number of jobs, right? So the sometimes the people don't realize that. So it is not because of their lack of uh, knowledge or the experience. They think that's their best performance is this. That's what the company need to accept. It's not. Remember, it's not. So that's why the employer and the employee mindset is completely different. Any employee, if you are working for the company, you should not every second your boss has to find some revenue to pay. Go tomorrow, to work with that mentality. If you are underpay, if you are being taken over work, it's a different thing. You have to talk with them. But if it is not the case, right? If it is not the case, you need to, guys, think about you are not capable enough to do. If you are not capable enough to do, means not your fail. Then you do gap analysis, as I said to you. What should I do to reach up there, right? For this, right? Why society has given a, like, good place for the engineers, right? So the one thing is, engineers are the people who grab the technology and apply to the industry. So I'm saying, like, applied knowledge transfer. So the engineers are the best people to do that. And the second one is a climate and the sustainability pressures, because we are the people who use the 80% of the carbon content in the world. It means if we decide to build the building, so that's the biggest carbon consuming product in the world right now, right? So engineers, so if you reduce the carbon footprint by some sort of, so you can do. But if you do that for the hospital, doctors doesn't know how much concrete up there, how much carbon footprint up there. So we have a huge responsibility of that one. And also, engineers are beyond the excellence. It means they need to leverage the skill to drive the real world. For example, when I graduate, I never thought like AI thing, chat GPT, right? And virtual working. So I never heard these words before. But even though when it's come to the play in the game, so I realized I must learn what is happening with that one, right? How the world is working. Are we going to replace by the AI? Biggest question right now people ask, right? I don't know. I mean, people can say yes or no, right? Too early to say, because there are so many things in the world that predicted not to be happen, but it happened. And also there are certain things in the world that predicted to be happen but not happen. So these problems should not take yourself. What's the, if you are going to take the someone's problems to your basket, so your basket is filled by the problems. So in the as a businessman or the entrepreneur or the employee, right? You need your baskets to be filled with the good skills and the attitude. But if you fill with the solution, when you put up the attitude, it's overflow, right? So that's, if you have any problems, any things in the life that beyond your control, just dump somewhere, that never take into the home, right? So the other one is a global competition and the opportunity, right? So the innovation lead the world. So as engineers, we should be very careful about how the world is innovative. So the engineers are building the future, right? Not only engineers, everyone. It's a teamwork, but we have a huge responsibilities because we are the people link technical side and the sustainability side, because we have to make sure that we live in this world, and the global warming, climate changes, energy resilience, sustainability is part of our life. You can't be in that one. If the tomorrow entire world temperature is 60 degrees, nobody can survive. So make sure that what we develop has a limit. So that's what we are giving the warning today. So the just coming to an so how I reach the world is like probably the dedication. And I always see so my passion is to get any problem to solve myself as a trust buyer. It means like any new problems comes through, I'm jump into that. I am trying to find a solution. So nobody has jump into that because people doesn't want to jump into the new problems because it's risky, number one. And the second one is they don't have a confidence. And third one is they have a there's a high chance of losing. But I rather I like to play with the new game, right? But I'm not saying everyone's to do that one. Either you have to, if you take a high risk, so you have a high gain. If you take less risk, you have a less gain. But either way is success, right? So nobody can say like you need to do that one, you need to do that one. And remember that, so I can't say what anyone's okay. So if you come up with so what should I do for my life, I can't say. It's your life, it's not my life, right? That's what I said, like where you want in 95% 5% theory, you need to put you have to know your skills and the weakness, right? So based on that you have to prepare your own portfolio. But remember, the ego is the matters. If you work with a high ego all the time, you will be killed. So the motivations, like leaderships, everything's under the ego. So so if you take off the ego, so the motivation, leaderships, happiness, everything come, even the success, what you said, right? So that's how it's work. So the our company, what we try to do is now is like to have an end-to-end solution. So we are part of the education and the university system right now in Australia. We closely work with the university and we are trying to apply the industry. So we have some sort of an innovative arm right now. So we are well established right now in terms of finance. So I think we are the only company in Australia have the high I would say like a range of delivery, including BIM, surveying, engineering, point clouds, etc. And also the proudly we can say we are the largest Sri Lankan company in the Australia providing the engineering solution at the moment. And we do have an office in Sri Lanka also. They are working for the Australian projects day and night. So I'm proudly saying that. So the all my company in Australia and I mean Australia are representing Sri Lankan community 90%. So I'm not saying Sri Lankan are the best, right? So everyone said Sri Lankan engineers are the best, Sri Lankan doctors are the best, Sri Lankan drivers are the best, Sri Lankan pilots are. So you should be taken out of that mentality because we are a global, right? I have seen enough capable engineers from India, China, Vietnam, America, so that wide. So we are part of the world. When you come to the global, you sh- I'm proud Sri Lankan, but I work globally. So you can't sell the Sri Lankan is the best anymore, right? But you can work till others say Sri Lankan is the best. So I have heard like many occasions the Sri Lankans are doing much better. The people are genius. Let them to say, but not ourselves say first, right? So the so the what we are looking ahead is like we are trying to promote in Australia, and we are trying to work with the Singapore, and next month we are going to USA. So we are trying to establish in the global, and we are trying to cooperate in between. So this is sort of what we look is at the moment is we need to go for the global market more aggressively, because the opportunity and the chances are coming up massively. So the best way to attract the global market is to improve our skills and the attitude. So the attitude's always the matter. So sometimes when I hire the people, right, I don't look at I haven't seen anyone's transcript of degree certificate at the moment. Any interview, I never open up that one. So what I'll do is how they sit, how they dress, how they talk, how they're polite, how they clean, how they're keen to work on, what they have done past, what how they work hard to achieve their dream. So it's easy to get someone on board. So they have missions on their life first, and definitely someone working on their life for achieving some things tomorrow. So those people definitely will work for the company much better. You get my point? So some people start telling, many occasion I have seen, like, I work hard for the office, but I don't have time for my parents, my husband and wife, let's say husband or the wife. I don't have time for the kids. It's completely a lie for me, because you can't be the nice guy to the office and not nice guys to the family. So if you are inside the man, you should be able to define yourself as a happy man. The happy man can do anything tomorrow. So any failures come, he still know why it's come. Okay, so if anything fails tomorrow, it will be tomorrow for what? It's still the failure. It's not, it's experience. If you fail today, it tomorrow it will be experienced. So the world is keep moving, so clock is counting. If you success, if you pass some things and achieve some things tomorrow, so it will be the rewards for tomorrow. That's how you need. For example, we are looking for the global expansion right now. So for that, it's not an easy. So we so work hard with the team. So I would really passionate with my team, and I would appreciate the effort they have been given and the support being given. Like, we try to improve their life also. Sometimes they come and say, okay, we have this personal issue, so we try to do. So the when you run the business, so I personally believe their personal life also part of our business. So if they're happy in the personal life, they do much better in our company. So we make sure that if anything's wrong with them, based on our experience, what we have learned, if we can give an opinion, you do this one, you have this issue, try to resolve with this one, you have this issue with your mother, try to resolve this one. Likewise, this is part of the chain, right? So always these wheel needs to be synchronized. So I personally believe anyone's is happy means, so they have a three wheels always synchronized properly. One thing is a family, one thing is a society, one thing is the job or the business he's running. If you synchronize these three wheels together, only someone will be perfectly happy. If one wheel is break, so other two wheel has to be run to rotate the other third wheel. So it means the other two wheel has to overrun, right? And it will be deteriorate very soon. So that's can be the lead for the collapse. So anyone's who is looking for be a success, I would say, like a successful career as an engineer or entrepreneur, you need to make sure that these three wheels are properly synchronized each other, right? So that's must. It's not an option anymore, right? If you lose the family, you will definitely not succeed in the business. All right. So we come to the emerge engineer was the entrepreneur. So I think in my talk it's talk about it's like engineers have been given like a good the asset, that means the analytical ability. So we have been training in our undergraduate or doing A level maths or whatever. It means we talk with the numbers. So we are not anymore the qualitative people. We talk about the quantitatives. We are working with the quantitative. It means we are fully static guys. So we know what's the probability of pass and failure. So, and the other thing is a problems solving capacity. Any hard time, so I wouldn't say others do that one, others also do, but engineers have been given an opportunity to think through the critical thinking in the undergrads or the master graduates or the PhD during that any education system, even the diploma, whatever. So they have been trained to think about the critical, they have been uh, uh, trained for the critical thinking, right? It means, so the even the simultaneous equation, higher degree equation, whatever. What you try to do is you are trying to find the value of x. It means in the periodical each steps you been come down, narrow down to the question and find x is equal to equal, right? You're free to put any questions or anything, so I'm happy to answer. I will be here for that one. You can type any if you have any question in the chat box. So the but the weak part of us is the marketing, right, and the selling ability. So when you go for the interview, assuming that you have 5 minutes, you have to represent yourself who you are. So the your CEO or the GM or the MD or anyone's in the interview panel will judge by you 5 minutes, right? So make sure that you should be able to talk what required, and what not required shouldn't be talk any moment. I'm talking about the professional life, right? The reason what I'm saying is sometimes you have been allocated 15 minutes for the interview, 15 minutes for the presentation, or wherever. If you are go for the tender meetings or wherever, you should be well prepared. You should be well prepared what to do and what not to do, and what to talk and what not to talk, right? It's like this. So today, the most of the young people has not been trained for the like a market focus approach, right? You go and say what you know, but anyway, if the company doesn't want, company are not willing to accept what you need, then you are done. So in that scenario, if you personally believe that I can improve myself to meet what company need, deliver what company required, so then you should be able to justify them within a short period that I'm a capable guy to adapt any situation and learn very quickly to deliver what company needs. So the I have seen the people like very confident, and also they are very good in delivering the stuff, like their analytical skill is much higher. So those people we required, because we don't get like the question today like well pro, right? So sometimes the question today is like a performance base. It means you need to put your critical thinking into that, what best to do. So the skills, these are the sort of skill must develop for the entrepreneur. But trust me, I don't have any management degree. I haven't done any MBA. I haven't done any study for the management skills. What I have done is I listen to people and I see who has done it before. Right. So I personally believe I don't have much time for study and apply for the management skill. I see the people who have already been success through their skills and the attitude. So then I will talk to those people and I'm trying to get there. I am good in technical part, so that I want to give the time for the technical part rather management part. But anyway, my company, I'm a CEO, but I don't hire the operation manager or the CEO or anyone else, because I know the what's the culture. Probably if you know my company very well, we don't have anyone from the HR as well. So every my company 100% are the engineers. We don't have any HR person to manage the company. We don't have any accounts to manage the, because the reason I'm not saying you to do that one, maybe it is a good thing, but what I was done is, so I train at least one of the engineers to become an HR manager, one of the engineer to become an accountant, because I can talk to him very well, because my language for the engineer is very well. If I bring new guy, it's for me it's very hard. But this is for the engineering company. But if it is the other apparel industry or any other industry, so this case not no more valid, right? In my company majorities are engineers, so I would like to hire someone who did engineers with the engineering background, has a knowledge of the account. This is my personal approach, but for me so far it's worked perfect. So as I said to you, communication, you need to improve a lot, right? As I said to you, interview wherever, you need to perform the very way. Leadership is the matter. Start from yourself. First, you need to show your leadership. So the other one is emotional and intelligent. When you, as I say, to what to talk and what not to talk. The business finance as a basic. So the you probably everyone knows right now. I think younger generation are much better in business finance because they want to do some things their own. But the marketing and the focus are much less because I believe like the lot of the younger people believe TikToks, these stuff, the Facebook marketing are the key. It's not really. So the I believe the best marketing tool in the world is a word of mouth, right? If you deliver the one job to someone perfectly, he tells the third person. So that's the best. So uh, that's the best way of doing that one, right? So the uh, so the challenge in the transit. So I think I have talked about that one of what you dump. So the fear of failure. So you shouldn't be fear at all because it will be the experience for the next day. Uh, Maybe this I have discussed like so the I personally believe start with the small any business, try to find first rupee, first dollar, right? Then don't focus on the 10 million or 1 million or whatever at the initially. So then you keep working on the next dollar, right? $1 today, tomorrow $2, $3. Likewise you keep trying to multiply it. So then something like if you multiply by daily, so it will become. So don't focus on day, I mean next day 1 million profit. There's no such business in the world. If so, let me know even, right? So I mostly struggle to find first 100 rupees, but now it's a matter of multiplication, which I want to do, right? And the so the other one is the never compromise your quality. So the bridging the gap in between the engineering and the business, as I said to you, you should be. I mean, engineers are much better in the technical stuffs, but better to focus on the marketing and the communication effectively, right? That's must, and also the you need to know what's your speed and the capacity. It means if you over you putting your all energy at a one time, so the next day you are already drained, so you can't do what really need. When the times comes, you are already tired. So make sure that your effort is consistently, right, and stage wise and divide properly. So that's you need to plan. So engineers are bit I think bit reluctant on this consistency working. They put whole effort initially, but later on they drain out and they give it. That's why engineers are most of the times are the fail. uh, to be honest, so you should think about the short-term business and the long-term business. I would say the entrepreneur, the short terms one sometimes good FNH opportunities come. The long term you need to keep the your business you know bread and butter running for throughout the capital. So that for that you need to have a consistent the clientele. It means the focusing on what people needs, etc. As I said, you build in the business culture and the company culture. So I'm doing it much better. So I always see everyone has to be live together. It's a family here, so we support each other. So the it's like they are if we can be a family, so then everyone's work hard, and also what you get, you have to give back to them as well. Not high. I mean, what as a team, if you earn something together, so it's always better to give back and share that one, right? uh Sorry. The importance of the continuous learning. So that's what I said to you. As when I was graduating, so the stuff I learn and I was know is very limited. Today I don't sometimes practice what I learn. So the importance of continuous professional development, CPD, and also the continuous learning is one of my key success. So I always see what's world happening, and I ask my team to look at this one, do this way. So every time I can build up the conversation with young engineers. That's the most important thing. For that I need the time, right? I don't do a lot of social activities which is I'm not interesting, but I do a lot of hobbies in my life. But I'm not going to if I feel something good, I take it into my life. If I'm not there, I'm not guy to waste the time with others. So I have a friends, but it's productively used. So likewise, I think you understand what I'm saying, right? So I don't want to kill my time. So the sort of, if you ask what is the future of the engineering, what you can for so the digital engineering is the future. But even if you ask what will happen in next 5 years, I don't know, and I don't care. It's not my business, right? What I'll do is where the world is heading, I go back and I capture opportunities. I don't want to divert where is heading, where our world is heading, right? It's like everyone's effort to make a change, right? But what I do is where the world is changing, I go there and I see the opportunity capture and I try to deliver that one. So that's why I said, so the problems comes through. You need to make sure that what problems to be accepted in your portfolio. If it is a problem, if you can provide a solution, get that problem into your life. If there is a problem that you can't solve, it's your beyond control, you close your eye and just kick off. That's it. So I think the personally I have been gone through the best young chartered engineer. That's the highest position in the Sri Lanka as chartered engineer and the engineer. So you can go. So I think 2018 I hold this one. I think every 5 to 10 years, I don't know. So it's reviewing. So that was the one of the biggest achievement in the Sri Lanka, and also the recently I got the best engineers excellency award in the Australia New South Wales chapter, probably a couple of months back. If you go to my LinkedIn, you can see in that one. All right. So the engineers are not just an building the structure, just not building on the infrastructure. They are they are the people who take the risk and making the people's better life for tomorrow. Remember, engineers are here for two reasons. So the if you want to become entrepreneur or the businessman, the place you are thinking is you are not a builder, you are not the engineer anymore, right? So if you think about you are a builder, you are a contractor, you are a planning engineer, design engineer, so the opportunities are very limited. But if you think like engineers are engineers are to be made a world better tomorrow, right? So this is what the opportunities you have, huge and huge. The sky is the limit. All right, with that, I think I want to stop myself, right? So I see two questions, but before that, I hand over to the Sanjivka. So if she's there, so she can start moderating.
Thank you, Dr. Pradeep, for your insightful and inspiring session. And now we'll open the floor for questions. This will go around 10 to 15 minutes, actually. Yeah, or to the audience, and you can raise hand or you can put it in the chat box.
So I think, Sanjivka, I can see the two questions. One thing is, as an engineer starting the business, how much initial capital should I plan for it? I think the question itself, I think it's not a quantitative question, it's like a bit of qualitative question. So the it's depend on what's the business you are going to do. And remember that I have seen, so the so the one of the engineer I have seen in Sri Lanka, he's graduate with me, but he never he worked as an engineer for probably maximum 4 years. He's now the biggest hotel chain owner in the country. So he started with the two rooms and he ended up with. So I haven't talked that one because I limited to the topic because engineer entrepreneurship, but it doesn't mean engineer has to perform to the engineering job in the engineering business. So you even tomorrow you can be the hotel owner, you can be the apparel owner, you can be the exporter, you can be the farmer, you can be the different entrepreneur. That's up to you. So this is a huge world. This global has enormous opportunities. So the question is, I don't I can't answer the question, to be honest. So because it's a very qualitative question, so it's dependent on how much. I think what I'll say is like you can start from the 100 and you can start from the 1 million. It's up to you to, but the matter is it's not the capital you invest, it's the way you invest and how you are going to secure and the sustain your business for the longer run. But I think the Ravindu asked a nice question. So he asked, as a single engineer, how I identify the capacity of my. That's what I said. So the first, get a sample of the people, 100 people or whatever odd number. So what's you wanna do, right? And the second thing is what is you need to achieve. So for example, I have a book. I write every week something I want to do in next 5 years, right? Something like that. For example, I would say, I mean, bit of the things like, so the s- I like to, for example, do the cycling, but in my life probably I did my cycling when I was the schooling village, etc. But so when you do want to do the hobby as cycling, you should give that one a priority. So the remember, enjoying the life is the also the part of the life. So the you have the capacity to determine your capacity. You have to pressure yourself, then only you can see. So the if you, as a engineers, we know to determine the capacity, what we do, we push the things to the ultimate level. Even the beam columns, we push to the ultimate level and we see the capacity, right? So it start cracking and all these things. So it means, as an engineer, you should pushing yourself very hard. If you start crying, if you don't have a sleep, right, if you feel very tired, that's your capacity. I have done in my life. So I remember very clearly, some night I haven't sleep because I'm super stressed. But today, I so that level of stress is just a smile for me. So you need to push yourself. You need to train yourself for this race. Then only you know what's the capacity you do have. And remember, the world biggest and the value things comes under the pressure. I think there is a very non statement like, so diamond create with the pressure because it is under the flow. I mean, years and years under the pressure. So that's how you need to know probably.
There are a few more questions in the list. Can you
So
see
I
it,
can,
Dr.
yeah, I can. So the whenever expand the business and send an engineer, it is advisable to relocate the main operation in a country where labor cost, no need to, no need at all. So we we have a Sri Lankan office. We perform the Sri Lankan jobs, right? So the any country, it's a way of you do that one, right? In the same products in the same country, you can sell in the two prices. Why people buy in the two prices? If someone buy higher prices, it's probably the your marketing campaign, and other one is your assurance. So the this is even we don't accept right now. It's called the modern slavery. Like the same work you pay less is a modern slavery. What we do is like a sort of a collaboration for the some projects we do. Our team is working back in Sri Lanka, but we don't get competitive advantages much because the reason is, when you have a two different country, you might be paying a lot of time for the communication and all this. So it's also the part of that. You need to keep the balance between. So the I don't think I don't think it's a fact. It's a fact, but it can be used for the profitability, but it's not must. So that's what. So if you have a good idea as an as an undergraduate, I think what's the best way to bring into the market? To be honest, the two ways. Either yourself need to bring into the market in the stage wise, or else you need to find the investor. But investors, for example, if you bring any product to me, you have to show me a lot of things because I'm not going to invest easily because I have a money, hard-earned money. So I will invest on the product, assuring that you will definitely be rewarded. If your product is failed, you need to give me an insurance for my money, something like that, right? So it can start somewhere, right? It's individual wise. So I advise don't go for the mass production. Initially try with a few units and see how it goes, and then if the markets, probably when you introduce this sort of products, so the market will give a feedback for you, sort of, you have to improve this one. So the we call like you know upgrades. Even the new car comes, they call for some fault reparation, right? Repairs. So likewise, you need to go. But I haven't done any product up to now. So I basically work on engineering and a bit of farming I do, like a tea. So I haven't created any product in my life. So whenever I expand in the business, it is advised to, that's I think done. So the last answer, what are the challenges grabbing the global market to explore? So I so in Sri Lanka itself, the global market, number one. So if you feel like Sri Lanka is beyond Sri Lanka is a local global market, you are wrong, right? A lot of challenges up there because you have to competitive with the people. If I come to the Australia, the people who are living for 30, 40 years in this country know everyone is very clearly, and go to the client and convince to do the design with me. So I need a lot of effort, right? You need to be very convinced. So it's not like a one challenges. One thing is a communication, one thing is a delivery, one thing is the quality, and one thing is a competence, right? One thing is after service, right? Even though we do the services, what we'll do after that. So it is much more combinations on all activity. That's why. So I know a lot of people try here the business, but they want success. The reason is they don't have enough dedications to do their work. So I don't know, so that's a good question. Arguably it's safer to aim the service based industry or the product. So I have seen both success. So in my life I haven't done the product based one. The reason is so I focus on the service based one, but I know the product based one also good, because if you have a product based one, so the your challenge is you have an end customer that makes sure they are happy with your product. But when you have a service base, because you will not have same customer every day, so we have to find new customers, right? So that's the biggest thing in the service. So for us to keep the service base business is bit challenging than the product base. But similarly, establishing the product based business is not an easy. If you want to challenge, for example, tomorrow, if you want to produce the ice cream in Sri Lanka, assuming that, right, it's not an easy, because you need to spend on the minimum infrastructure costs, etc., right? So something like that. But if you want to produce sort of like, I wouldn't say like, assuming that maybe coconut oils or something, you can start with the very limited knowledge, maybe some sweets, maybe some, I don't know, dry food or something, right? You can do at home levels and start doing that one. But it's need a lot of time to iterate, right? If you super pass with the client, but high chance of failure, because it's a product base. So the customer feedback's negative, you can fail overnight. If any product of you having the toxic, for example, nobody will buy tomorrow. So the both has a pros and cons, but rather I personally believe bit of focus on the service entrepreneurship is much better for me. But someone is good for, it can be good for the product based one. I think the question
I
on the
think,
comment section is finished.
yes, I think let's stop here because it will continue a lot more. So thank you very much, Dr. Pradeep, for your insightful session. Actually, I would like to extend a heartfelt thank for you sharing inspiring journey with us today. Even without considering this time zone issue, it might be hard for you also. Your insights have truly added a great value to this webinar.